Hello, everyone, and welcome to Raquel Teaches Web Development. I'm Raquel, and today I'm going to be teaching you all about HTML comments, how to use them to add comments to your code, and also how to use them to hide your code. It's very simple and very easy, so this will be a very quick lesson. All right, this lesson, as usual, is based on the lessons you can find at W3 Schools. And so that's here. And the link for that lesson is included in the description for this video. Okay, so let's hop over to the code editor and get started. All right, so I've set up my code editor with a very basic structure, right? And so I'm just going to show you very quickly how to do it. Now, one thing to keep in mind about comments is to remember what they're used for. So comments in general are used for adding information to your code that other web developers will find useful, and also that you may find useful in the future. Because what can happen as a web developer is that you will code something out, a solution to something, and when you go back and review it later, or you're trying to share it with someone later, if it's complicated or if it use some kind of, I don't know, obscure or just weird way of solving this problem, you may not remember how you put that all together if you don't have notes in there, what we call comments, to remind you of what you did. And so that's why using comments are very important. It helps to document the code, and for yourself and for others. All right, so let's just go over very quickly how that works. So I'm here in the code editor, and you can see that it's blank, right? And actually, if I switch over to the browser, you will see that I have this page open in the browser and it is blank, right? Nothing going on here. So back to the code editor. I'm going to add a paragraph so we can see what that looks like. So we can add a paragraph of text, and in Visual Studio Code, if you can't, oops, I did not put the closing P tag correctly. There you go. If you just want to insert some filler dummy text, in Visual Studio Code, you can type the word lorem, right? And once you do that and press enter, you'll see that it inserts a paragraph of just some filler, what they call lorem ipsum text for you. Okay, so now that that's inserted there, I'm gonna save that, and we're just gonna very quickly see what that looks like. It should just display that on the page. So let's switch back over to the browser, refresh, right? And great, that is what's supposed to happen, right? So now adding the comment is very easy. So the comment tag is one of those in HTML that doesn't really use the name, its own name to work. Meaning, whoops, let me just switch back to the right place. In HTML, we have, when we say the body tag, it has the word body in it. When we say the HTML tag, it has the word HTML and so forth. But the comment tag is not like that, right? So the comment tag is unique. It starts with an angle bracket, the same way all others do. And it starts with an exclamation point and 2 hyphens, right? And you'll notice here that in Visual Studio Code, it will insert the closing part of the comment tag automatically. So this is what the comment tag is. It's an angle bracket, exclamation point, 2 hyphens, and that's the opening part. And then the closing part is this. It's the 2 hyphens with the closing angle bracket. Your comment goes in between those things, those opening and closing tags, okay? And so when we say comment, what that means, like I said again, it's information that you put in the code for yourself or for others, but it's information that will not be rendered or displayed or processed by the browser or programs in any way. So I can just say, this is a sample comment, right? And it will save there. And now if we switch back to the browser and we refresh, nothing happens, right? Because the comment tag is working like it's supposed to, right? It's just there to display information in the code editor that talks about the code that we're working on, right? So you could say something more useful. So, let's just say I was adding documentation. I could say, paragraph clarifying how code should I don't know, verify, whatever, right? But that's an example of what a comment would say, look like, right? And so that's how you insert it. But the comment tag is also useful for hiding code, right? So you can do things like start to code out a page and then decide, oh, I don't want that part of the code to process. I don't want it to work, but I don't want to delete it either. So you can use the comment tag to do that. And the comment tag can be used standalone, as we see here in the code editor, right? Just as a comment. It can be used within content also to hide the code. So I'm going to give you an example of that. So let's switch back to this code editor here. So let me just make that look a little, well, that should look a little neater. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's just indent everything because I just like things to be nested properly. And now this isn't moving. Okay, good. So that's an example of just a simple comment. So let's say we wanted to do something like, I don't know, let's create a paragraph here and we want to say something like, we can just put something like, I don't know, my name is Raquel, right? If I save my name is Raquel, we will see that, oops, wrong. Sorry about that. If we go back to the browser, we will see that it displays a paragraph that says my name is Raquel, right? Oh, and let me zoom in again. Sorry about that, guys, that I forgot to zoom in. It says my name is Raquel. All right. Oh, a little bit bigger. That looks kind of small. All right. So let's just say that, let's switch back to this code editor here, that I say, oh, you know what? The name of the person might be Raquel, it might not be. I'm not going to delete that whole sentence. I'm just going to hide the name Raquel. Well, I can do that by placing the name Raquel within the comment tags, right? So I can just go ahead and do this. Add the opening comment tag, right? And you'll see that as you start to, after you type the opening comment tag, everything after it turns to a different color. So you now know that everything in there is going to be labeled as a comment until you put a closing. Everything after it is going to be treated as a comment until you insert the closing comment tag. So if I just want to hide the name Raquel, I can do that and then put the closing comment tag after it. And you notice now that when I do that, that closing paragraph tag is visible now, right? But the word Raquel is within the comments. So now if I save those changes and go back to my browser and refresh, right, you'll notice that the name Raquel disappears, right? And so that's what it does. The comment tag will hide things as well, right? So that comment tag can be used on text, on tables. It can be used on any HTML content that you have on your page. You can hide it anywhere, right? And you can hide within a line of content and you can hide whole blocks of it. So let me show you what I mean by that. If we go back to this paragraph I inserted, I can hide this entire paragraph by just putting an opening comment tag at the beginning of the paragraph and a closing comment tag at the end of the paragraph, right? And so again, if we save those changes and go back to the browser and refresh, that paragraph is gone, right? And so that's the way that works. Now, remember that when you're in the code editor and you're using that, you can type it in manually as I've done, right? But if you have a code editor like what I use, Visual Studio Code, it does have shortcuts for doing that, right? And so for instance, in Visual Studio Code, the shortcut for it is, if you're using Windows anyway, it's Control Z, right? So right now I'm not using my mouse, I'm just using the keyboard on my computer, right? I'm holding down Control key and tapping I'm sorry, it's not Control Z. I don't know why I keep saying that. Control Z is actually for undo. It's not for commenting. And I do use undo a lot. So maybe that's why it's ingrained in my head. But commenting in Visual Studio Code on Windows is toggled on and off with Control Z, right? So if I highlight that paragraph that I just commented out and I tap, it's done with Control slash. God, why do I keep doing that? So if I highlight that paragraph I just commented out and I tap Control slash, it's going to uncomment that, right? So it's going to remove those comment tags. So if I do Control slash, we see that that's gone, right? And the same thing applies to that single line comment that I have up there. That will remove that. If I do it to the information that I commented in line, Control slash, it does that, okay? And so that works as well. Most code editors also have a shortcut for it. If you're not keen on using the keyboard too much, you can just highlight whatever's commented and you can go to the edit menu and you can toggle the comment that way using those commands, okay? So That's how quick and easy it is, quick and simple and easy it is to use the comment tag in HTML to add comments to your code and to hide any code that you don't want to be run or to be viewed, or any content as well that you don't want to be run or to be viewed. So I hope that you found this helpful. If you did, please hit the like button on this video and feel free to share it with anyone you know that might find it helpful. And if you'd like to be notified of future live streams, please take a moment and go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you can be notified of upcoming videos. Okay, thanks again for checking in. I hope you found it helpful. Take care.